You know the feeling. You're in the middle of a load of laundry, and suddenly, silence. Then your washer starts beeping, flashing some weird code at you. It is so frustrating. But hey, don't panic. Today, we're going to crack one of the most common codes out there, the F8 or E8 error.
Okay, so you see that F8 or E8 flashing, and your mind immediately goes to the worst-case scenario, right? Floods, huge repair bills. Just take a breath. We're going to walk through what this error actually means, and you know what? You can probably fix it yourself in just a couple of minutes. Seriously.
So what's really happening here? Well, that F8/E8 code, and by the way, they usually mean the exact same thing, just for different brands. It isn't some random glitch, it's a full-on safety alert. Your washer has detected that the water level is way too high, and it's basically hitting the emergency brakes to stop a flood. So in a way, your machine is being pretty smart in protecting your house.
To figure out how to fix it, we first have to understand what's actually triggering this alarm in the first place. So let's take a look at the incident report coming from inside your machine.
See, your washer is kind of clever. It has two different ways of measuring the water. It's got its normal sensor for everyday fills, and then it has a backup, the overflow protection system. Think of it like a last resort emergency brake, a secondary switch that only gets tripped when the water level gets dangerously high.
So the moment that emergency switch is tripped, the machine goes into total lockdown mode. It instantly tells the control board to cut the water supply, it forces the drain pump to turn on, it locks the door so you can't open it, and then it flashes that F8/E8 code to tell you, hey, something's wrong.
Okay, so we know it's an overflow problem, but what's causing it? Well, this is where our little detective story begins, and let me tell you, there is one very, very likely suspect.
Before I reveal the culprit, just look at this number, 95%. That's the probability that your problem is caused by one single thing. And the best part? You can almost definitely fix it yourself, for free.
Yep, that's it. The prime suspect in nearly every single case is just a simple blockage in your drain system. It could be a sock that made a grand escape, some coins from a pocket, or even just a nasty buildup of lint. The washer couldn't drain the water out properly, so when it went to fill up again, it just kept filling and triggered the alarm.
And this brings us to the single most important piece of advice in this entire explainer. Before you do anything else, before you even think about calling a repair person, check the drain pump filter. I'm telling you, it's a 5-minute job that solves this problem for the vast, vast majority of people.
All right, enough with the theory. Let's get our hands a little dirty and actually conduct this investigation. We're going to walk through this step by step, and we'll start by securing the scene.
Okay, and I absolutely cannot stress this enough. Before you even think about opening a panel or unscrewing anything, unplug your washer from the wall. Seriously, we're dealing with water and electricity here, so safety is completely non-negotiable. Okay, first things first. If the tub is still full of water, you gotta get it out of there. You can use a cup and a bucket, or if you have one, a wet/dry vac is perfect. Now, whatever you do, please do not tip the machine on its side to drain it. You could really mess up some other expensive parts. And grab some old towels and put them on the floor, because trust me, a little more water is gonna spill out.
Now for the main event, checking the drain path. First, you need to get to the pump. Most front-load washers have a little access door or a lower panel that just pops right off. Behind that, you'll see the drain pump with a round screw-off cap. That's the filter. You want to slowly unscrew it, letting that last bit of water drain out onto your towels. Then, just reach in there and pull out whatever gross stuff you find. Coins, lint, maybe even that sock that's been missing for 6 months. And last, just give the main drain hose in the back a quick look to make sure it isn't bent or kinked.
So what if you cleaned out the filter, plugged it back in, and you're still getting the error? It's pretty rare, but it does happen. So now it's time to follow up on a few other leads and rule out some of the less common culprits.
If you're sure the drain path is clear, then our investigation turns to the actual components. The problem could be a faulty overflow switch that's sending a false signal, or maybe a water valve that's stuck open and letting water trickle in. Don't worry, we can check these off the list one by one.
If you happen to have a multimeter, you can test that overflow switch yourself. It's actually pretty easy. As you can see, when the switch is just sitting there, your meter should read OL, which just means open loop or no connection. Then, if you blow gently into the little tube attached to it, you should hear a little click and the meter's reading should drop to almost 0. If it doesn't do that, well, you found your problem. The switch is bad.
Okay, I know that was a lot of information. So to make things a bit easier,
Let's put all the clues together in a simple case summary. This is like your diagnostic cheat sheet to help you use what you're seeing to pinpoint the exact problem.
This chart right here is your secret weapon. The most important clue is when the error happens. If it pops up mid-cycle and the tub is full of water, that is almost guaranteed to be your drain blockage. But if it happens right at the start, when the tub is totally empty, that points to a bad switch, sending a false signal. Or what if you find water in the tub hours after a cycle finished? That's a classic sign of a leaky water inlet valve. See? You can figure this out.
And here's the good news. Most of these fixes are super DIY friendly. Clearing a blockage costs you nothing but a few minutes of your time. And even replacing a pump or a switch, the part is usually under $100 and it's a totally manageable repair. But if you've checked everything, the drain, the pump, all the switches, and the problem is still there, that's when the issue might be the main control board, and yeah, that's probably when it's time to call in a pro.
So after all of this, what is the one thing you should do right now? It's simple. Unplug the machine, grab a few towels, and go inspect that drain pump filter. That one action is your best bet for a quick fix, and it's the perfect place to start your investigation. Look, you have the clues, you have the tools, and you have a step-by-step plan. You now understand what that code means, you know what's likely causing it, and you know exactly how to fix it. So are you ready to solve the case of the F8/E8 error? You totally got this.